Hmm? Here, that's fine. Hello, good evening. Ah. How are you doing, Ren Puma? Hello. Sorry, I got a little stack. Good. I'm glad you're doing well. Alright. Yeah, the game is when the game window is a really small square. I've made it fit to the best of my ability. And there's a lot of extra room. So I don't have anything to put in that extra space, so I figured I'd put chat in there. So, let's go ahead and start a new game. I do believe this game has voice acting, hopefully all the time, so I don't really have to talk all that much.
Paris, city of love, romance, and dreams. So they say. I used to say it too, but ever since that day, the day of the murder, I've always associated my beloved Paris with death. I was at home having a bath when my editor called.
Collard, get your ass over to the Palais Royal now. You got an interview. With Pierre Carchon. Yes, the Pierre Carchon. No photos, so leave your gear at home. He asked for you personally. Don't ask me why. Anyhow, this could be big, so if he makes a pass, don't forget. Just smile, say yes, and keep taking notes.
So charming and so very apt. Pierre Carchon was a media king, a national hero, and one of the most infamous adulterers in Europe. He and his wife Imelda were just one step down from royalty. Whoa, I hate mimes, but unless you humor them, they don't go away. Here I was, the palace of the Media King and the Ice Queen. I pressed the doorbell and set in motion a chain of events which would change my life forever.
Yes? What is it?
Madame, my name is Nico Collard. I'm here to see Monsieur Carchon.
Come up, we're on the first floor.
Madame Carchon, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Yes, I'm sure.
The Ice Queen was certainly living up to her reputation. Will you be staying for the interview?
Mademoiselle, I know little of my husband's business affairs, and I care even less. I certainly have no intention of watching him pore over yet another pretty little journalist.
Pretty. You're too kind, madame.
Ah, the talented and very beautiful Mademoiselle Collard. Such a pleasure to meet you at last.
Monsieur Carchon, I am honored.
Oh, I'm sure you are.
Call me Pierre, please. But I do not flatter you idly. I was a friend of your father. He was a great man.
My father, he never mentioned.
He and I were very close. And then his death. So tragic. I must... Imelda, your damned cat's in my study again. Another Ming vase, I suppose. Excuse me for one moment, my dear girl.
You journalists are getting younger each year.
Perhaps it's the rest of the world getting older, madame. That was no cat. My God, what? Monsieur Carchon!
He's dead. I must call the police. You'd better stay here.
There was a man. It was the mime. Do you think he...
Well, I believe we can rule out suicide, don't you?
No wonder they called her the Ice Queen. She would have been top of my list of suspects if I hadn't seen the attacker myself. And if I hadn't come across a couple of murders just like this already. One of the most important men in Europe murdered. And here was I, Nico Coulard, alone at the scene of the crime. Should I wait for the cops? Or start my own investigation? It was a no-brainer.
Alright, this is kind of strange because I don't remember them being 3D models. But, alright. Let's see, move the mouse pointer around the screen to discover areas of interest, which will be indicated by an animating blue circle. When the pointer passes over an object with which you can interact, it will change to an animating icon reflecting the available action. Press the left mouse button to perform that action. Click on the briefcase icon to open your inventory and display objects that you're carrying. The diary icon to access the diary. Question mark to get puzzle hints, which we won't be pushing. A spinner icon to save and restore a game and adjust the settings. They can all be found at the lower. I wonder if I can... Well, where's the settings? I see screen resolution and audio, but... whatever. What's this? Oh, it's the little comic that goes with the game. How do I go back? Oh. I guess this means I've unlocked all of the comic. I swear they weren't 3D models before. Because I remember thinking it was strange to see them as 3D models in the third game, I think. That was the first time I saw them as 3D models.
A bust of Pierre Carchon, humble servant of La France. The bookcase was filled with obscure first editions. Mimes and guns don't usually go together, but I had an idea that this was no ordinary mime. I'd come across this murderer before and written about him. The costume killer, at least that's what I'd called him.
I don't know why she even bothered getting close to him, seeing him in the room. And if she had obviously written about someone doing murders in costume, that was a really stupid move on her part.
It was one of my hair clips. My favorite, in fact. It must have fallen when I was knocked down. I closed his eyes. It was
Too
the
much.
least I could do for the poor fellow.
Too much to drink.
I opened his eyes. Best to leave the crime scene as I found it.
I can open and close his eyes.
Some people hate searching corpses for clues. Me, I'm okay with it. Reminds me of an old boyfriend.
The murder happened before we came into the room.
In his pocket, I found a ticket stamped Bateau de la Conciergerie. Taking the ticket meant I tampered with the evidence. There was no going back now. Carchon had been shot.
A likely story. Everyone says that.
A small round piece of glass had been cut out of the pane. This was a professional job. I didn't want to cut myself and leave blood on the glass. Call me old-fashioned, but I like to keep my DNA to myself.
That's why I'm leaving my fingerprints everywhere. Ooh.
The killer must have used a ladder to reach the window. He was long gone. Guess he folded that ladder up, popped it in his pocket and took it with him. Pierre Carchon again. His eyes seemed to follow me around the room.
I guess that's everything. Yes, baby, this is good. A lot of French in this game. I think only 2 of them take place in France, but she's in all of the games except for 1.
The police could turn up at any minute. Somewhere there were clues to the murder, and I needed to find them. A Louis XIV table with an antique cloth. Imelda had taste. But hey, with a husband that rich, taste is easy. I reckoned that cloth might just turn out to be useful. Even my fingernail wouldn't fit into such a small hole.
Oh. To use an inventory item on a background object, click on that item and hold the mouse button. While continuing to hold the mouse button, drag the item over a hotspot and release when it highlights with a gold outline. What's this? Can I look at it like it says it will do? I guess not.
Aha! Nico, you are just so damn good at this stuff. Instead of comforting Imelda, I was ransacking her flat. Why? Because there was something going on here, and I had to get answers before the cops arrived. And hey, she'd been rude to me, so she had it coming.
Can I close it to prove I hadn't touched it? Oh, there it goes.
The door was locked.
Is this a key?
A modern key on an antique door. It wasn't going to work. It was going to take more than a hair clip to open the door. I needed the key.
I stole that cloth?
A medieval pageant. Original, no doubt. The tapestry must have cost a fortune.
Yeah, that's a modern key because it's round.
It was a tube of acrylic paint. French ultramarine. Just the color I was after for my bathroom.
I'm sorry, I have to go. Someone is...
Young lady, what are you doing? Oh, this paint. It's my favorite color.
For God's sake, keep the damn stuff.
Imelda had talent, but I certainly wasn't going to tell her that.
I borrowed the cloth. Come on, ruin her painting. You know you want to.
Excuse me, madame.
Yes?
I am so sorry for your loss, madame.
No, you're not. You're a journalist. Journalists don't feel sorry.
Not true.
We shall see.
Why did your husband send for me? What did he want to discuss?
I have no idea. His business was his business.
He never told you anything.
No, and frankly, I preferred it that way.
How did your husband know my father?
I have no idea.
You didn't know him? Thierry Collard?
Pierre knew a lot of people I didn't know, most of them women.
Why would a mime want to kill your husband?
Pierre had plenty of enemies. Half the husbands in Paris for a start. This is quite a scoop for you. I suppose you're already inventing the headlines.
Just because I am a journalist.
Don't patronize me. You're all cut from the same cloth. Do you have any moral sense at all?
Alright, should we be good or evil? I don't think it really matters. But I think it changes sort of the story. I don't know. But the endings will always be the same. The woman's a bitch. Kill her? I just put the tube of paint down her throat.
I certainly don't let it get in the way of a good story.
I admire your loyalty to your profession.
The police will be here soon, madame. Is there anybody you would like me to contact? Family, friends?
No, I have no family. Pierre and I were... He was all I had, really. Not much, was it? The dutiful wife. That was my role. He never talked, never let me in.
I know one thing, madame.
What?
If you want to find out who killed your husband, then you let me do the job, not the police.
Why? How do I know I can trust you?
Alright. I guess either we threaten her or we kind of, I don't know, act friendly about it. Sincere, I guess, is a better word. Be evil.
Because you have no choice. The police will take weeks, in which time your own life may be in danger.
What?
Believe me, this killer has struck before, and he will strike again. Who is to know that you are not next on his list?
I don't know.
All I need is a few more minutes to look around before the police come.
I think perhaps you do have a moral sense. Of sorts. You're not a very good liar, Nico Collard. And I share your low opinion of the police. Here, take this. It's the key to the drawing room next to the library at the end of the hall. It was Pierre's room. I rarely went in there. I couldn't. I was too scared of what I might find.
Like panties.
Thank you. I promise you won't regret this. There was no one I needed to phone. Not until I had solved this case. Madame Cachon,
Please call me Imelda. We hardly need the formalities now, do we?
Did Monsieur Cachon say nothing to you about my father?
No. I'm sorry. He never mentioned him.
Alright. Random.
Would you like to see my favorite hair clip?
What a ridiculous question. Of course not.
Another time, I guess.
So, her husband took secret boat trips. Did she really need to see the ticket?
Of course she does.
Thank you. You have your own reason for taking the cloth. Please keep it. Imelda might not have been so cool with me poking around if I'd shown her the key I'd found.
Oh, but she's okay with you taking the cloth and the paint.
The last thing she needed to talk about was paint. I needed to open the drawing room door before giving Imelda back the key.
Nah, just give it back now. We don't need it. We'll bust our way in.
I was sure that there was more to find. Now we were getting somewhere.
Poke, poke.
I didn't need the lights on. It was light enough already.
I don't know why it puts hot spots on things that I don't need to interact with.
The painting showed the Cajons together, in love. As the poet said, the past is a different country. Or did I read that in a fortune cookie? There was the very faintest of clicks. Behind the picture was a safe.
I don't think I know the actual combination. Oh, I don't need to.
In the safe was some kind of artifact. There were strange symbols on its surface. It looked like the printer's blocks I'd made at art school. If there was one thing I'd learned about symbols, they are always important. But these symbols scratched into stone were impossible to read. I needed to find a way of printing them. At least the stone was round. But what could I use for ink? And what could I print on? Sure, I was stealing, but I knew Imelda didn't know about the artifact, and Carchon was past caring.
Whee! Just kind of floated out of there.
This wasn't the time for me to lie on the sofa doing my Marie Antoinette impression. Though it is very popular at parties, especially with gay guys. Don't ask me why.
Welcome back, Ren Puma.
As expected, the desk was yet another priceless antique. Yawn. The blotter and in tray had clearly been placed with mathematical precision. My heart skipped a beat. It was a carved elephant. But not just any carved elephant. It had been made by my father. I knew for certain because in my apartment I had its exact twin, carved into a box he had made. So Carchon had known my father. They really must have been friends. I decided to take the carved elephant. It clearly meant nothing to Imelda.
Whee! Everything just kind of floats away. Magic elephant. Oh, I was expecting a
I'd
ketchup.
spread blue paint over the bottom of the tray. It was ruined. I was a very bad girl, but also quite a clever one.
I had expected like a ketchup sound. Yeah, she's stealing a lot of
I didn't
stuff.
want to take the tray, but I knew that I could use it.
In a way, I was going back to art school. I rolled the artifact in the paint until it was completely coated. Genius! The roller and the paint worked just as I planned, but what did it say? It was some kind of coded message. It read, "Sub judice." I may not have learned a lot as a journalist, but that was a term I knew well. It means a legal case that is before the courts. Below it was a sequence of letters that made no sense. I suddenly realized there was a connection between the boat ticket and the coded message. The boat ticket was stamped Bateau de la Conciergerie. The Conciergerie on the Ile de la Cité, by the river, housed the ancient law courts. So, sub judice could in this case mean literally under the law courts, below the Conciergerie. I was pretty sure I'd found all I could here. And besides, all this opulence was making me pine for my regular life of poverty. This was a huge story. It was also one heck of a puzzle with a lot of pieces missing. But I was going to crack it. And if I could just remember the name of that fancy prize you get for being an ace journalist, I was definitely going to win it this time.
Alright, for some reason my journal is throbbing, along with my inventory. I guess I still need the paint. Is that the way out? I don't want to go out.
Locked. Not
Oh.
surprising, really. It didn't work, but I guess it would have been surprising if it had.
Break it open with the elephant. Aw. I think that's all we can do in here. Let's just leave the paint in this tray.
An antique tray with paint spread all over it. Not a lot I could do with that. I didn't need to take the leather holder with me. I didn't need the lights on. It was light enough already.
Why is that a hot spot?
Did you find anything useful? This carving. Do you know anything about it? It was Pierre's. What does the statue have to do with... Please, I need to know. He was given it by a friend. Something to do with Africa. He never explained any more? No. But I think it was important to him. Always on display. Why? It was carved by my father. Oh, I see. I didn't know. Imelda, I will do everything I can to find the killer. Thank you, my dear. And if the police ask, don't worry. You were never here. Sub judice was the key. I was going to have to find a way under the Conciergerie. I decided to head straight for the quayside on the Ile de la Cité. If there was a way of getting under the Conciergerie, it would have to be from there. Canchon wasn't the type for messing about on the river. He was up to something down here. Something that got him killed. An old boyfriend of mine owned a barge once. Dampest relationship I ever had. In every way. It was the old boathouse for the Conciergerie. If I was right about the meaning of sub judice, then the answer had to lie somewhere here on the quayside.
Well, okay then.
The fence wouldn't move.
Your throat hurts or what? I didn't even know. Oh, when you said you had the dry mouth or whatever? I don't think it was a boathouse. Was it? I guess it could be. She just said it was a barge.
This fence wouldn't move either.
Stinky Joe.
The cross looked familiar. I'd seen it before. It was embroidered on the lace cloth I'd picked up at Carchon's apartment. I knew I was on the right track. I tried pushing the fence, but it wouldn't move. A strange pair of locks stopped the latches from releasing the gate.
Okay. Oh. You must move the rectangular blocks so the latch can slide all the way across. So releasing the gate to open. Blocks move along their length, some vertically, some horizontally. To move a block, click on it and drag it horizontally or vertical along the appropriate axis. Okay. I'm not very good at these puzzles. Um,
Yes! One down, one to go.
Woo! Oops! It doesn't look like I did it. Cleaver puzzles? You must move the rectangular blocks. Yeah, we just saw this. Hmm. When is a way to reset it? This one's gotta go all the way over. The last one only had to go to here. Oh. Let me try to reset it. Makes your head hurt? Alright, there's nothing I can do to this. Didn't I have it pulled over this far? Now I don't even know how I did it. Oh, I guess like this. This one doesn't work. Now I better get this one over somehow. Twice. Is this it? Ah, yes.
Nothing like a good convent education for honing your lockpicking skills.
Yeah. It just fell off.
For a room full of junk, that was one very sophisticated lock system. This place was definitely fishy, in more ways than one.
She's probably lucky it wasn't so rusted it wouldn't move.
Oops. An old shell case. I wondered what that was doing there.
Kick it.
Moving the skiff would only damage it more.
I don't think anyone cares.
I really didn't want to pull the fence back up and risk trapping myself in this place. The words Sinister and Dexter were carved on either side. Now any good convent girl like me knows the old Roman for left, right, left, right. But what did it mean here? No handle, nothing obvious. But there had to be a way to open it.
Nah, there's no way to open.
Nothing happened.
Oh. Yes. There we go.
Mystery solved. Carchon's stone cylinder slotted into the hole with a satisfying click.
So I guess it's left, right. Left, left, right. Left, left.
A satisfying click told me I turned it to the right position. It felt like tumblers in a safe. Another click. Another step closer. I love the sound of locks clicking open.
I'm sure she does.
Ut lex vel ut next sumito. To the law or unto death submit. I guess these people didn't believe in liberté, égalité, or fraternité. Yes, I'll admit it. I was a swot at school. I also wore lipstick and the nuns never knew. Oh my god! The slab came down with a hell of a force. With nothing to hold it up, the cross dropped back down again. The panel wouldn't move. Lifting the cross closed the entrance door and also opened some kind of stone panel. Ingenious. If I was going to get a closer look at the panel, I'd have to find a way of keeping the cross up.
Okay.
The stone cross was propped up. Now I was getting somewhere.
That thing looks really heavy, and somehow she's got it balancing on a shell casing. Alright.
I touched the slot. Nothing bad happened, which was good. I've always been attached to my fingers. This slot was designed for something specific. But what?
Well.
No way would I be able to force the door open.
Hmm.
I touched the slot, which was good. This slot. A round slot precisely carved into the stonework.
It can't be the shell casing. Ugh.
I removed the shell case.
Alright. Alright, what is this? What did I do?
The stone slab had flattened one end of the shell case.
Oh.
The shell case had been flattened at one end, forming a serrated edge.
Alright.
No. No. No.
Okay.
No. No.
Oh, we can't crush the elephant. Is there anything else we can crush?
No sign of any mechanism to poke. I had to think of a better way to open it. I couldn't see a gap to insert it.
Alright, now she somehow balanced it onto a shell casing that's got one end squished. Shrug! Shrug-a-bugga. I want to say there's a way to prop it up there. And then you can take the bullet, but I can't remember. I think I've tried everything.
I removed the shell case.
Yes, she shrugs a lot. Maybe something happened up here, or I've not picked something up.
I'd wrecked the skiff. Not that it was particularly seaworthy anyway.
I wonder if I can take this back. Oh.
I removed the stone cylinder.
She shrugs a lot to me. Is that how you were saying she breaks the fourth wall?
The flattened lip of the shell case was too wide.
Okay.
I took the stone.
Oh, is that it finally? Oh, thank you.
The artifact slotted into the hole perfectly. Behind the old walls, I could hear some kind of mechanism groaning into life, but whatever had been triggered had now jammed.
Say what?
The gap was too thin for me to get a grip. I needed something thin enough to prise the door open. I was going to need something a lot stronger than a hair clip to free the door.
And a shell casing is exactly what she needs. Somehow.
I removed the shell case. The cross didn't drop back down. Some kind of mechanism was holding it up.
Well, that's when you grab it and pull it down. What? What did she do?
Another good use for a shell case. Another secret room. Somebody had something to hide. But was it what I was looking for?
So what would have happened if I hadn't flattened this before getting to this point? Let's not think about it.
Wow. Through the darkness, I could see that this was a stateroom. But for what purpose? And how did it tie in with Carchon?
I don't know. Well, let's figure out how to get some light in here. Is there a light switch? What's this?
Amazing!
Oh!
The thing still worked. The room lit up bright as day.
It's a steak room.
That wasn't going to help. A slot next to the safe door. All I had to do was find something to fit into it. It was like being back in kindergarten. All I needed now was a shape that would fit the slot. Lady Justice stared out from a stone door, which was locked and reinforced with steel bands. A door like that always has something important behind it. I had to find a way to unlock it.
Nah, you don't. Did I pick up the cylinder? I didn't. Oh. So I guess it's not the cylinder that goes in there. Give me my
I
casing.
removed the shell case. I wasn't going to find anything in this old desk. It hadn't been used for years.
Maybe this key goes in here. No, I guess not.
The flags had faded, but their message was still pretty clear.
These don't look faded.
Fascist regalia, a message of hate.
Whatever you say.
Inside the drawer, I found a note written in some kind of code.
Oh.
Damn,
Okay.
don't you just hate it when that happens?
I meant for her to put it back, but okay.
A photo, long lost, had fallen down the back of the drawer. It was very old, but there was no mistaking the guy in the foreground. Carchon. Behind him were soldiers, a burning village, and a corpse. The photograph was cropped on the right-hand side. Somebody else in the picture obviously didn't want to be in it anymore. I wasn't surprised. This was Africa in the 60s. An uprising was being brutally suppressed. And here was Mr. Media himself, Carchon, doing the suppressing. The photograph was not just powerful evidence. It was also my ticket to one explosive story. But there had to be more for me to discover. There was nothing else in the drawer.
Can we put
The
it back?
drawer had come out easily enough, but wouldn't fit back into place.
Okay.
It was pretty clear from the lack of dust that someone had been working very recently at this desk. This was the article I'd written about the costume killer. My suspicions were right. Carchon had cut it out. 2 businessmen had been killed. One in Italy, one in Japan. In each case, the killer had worn a costume, a penguin, and then a snowman. But that wasn't the only link between the 2 murders. Both the victims had been big media do-gooders, and I proved they were just the opposite. So, how did they fit in with Carchon?
2 businessmen killed by a penguin and a snowman. Brutal.
My articles about the costume killer. My article.
Yes, yes.
The dregs at the bottom of the mug hadn't dried out or gone moldy. It wasn't more than a day old. Oh my God. The sheet was a printout with my personal information. Everything from my favorite food to my waist size. They were right about chocolate. But come on, guys. I'm a size 10. There was even a picture of me, taken with a telephoto lens. Carchon wouldn't have taken these pictures himself. This was big and organized. I was part of it. And people were getting murdered.
All because of you. You've driven madmen to dress as penguins and snowmen and mimes. 'Cause. 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 ' Alright, what do I have now? Oh. The note has been written using a substitution cipher. This means that a different symbol has been used to represent each letter of the alphabet. To crack the code, you must correctly match all the symbols to their corresponding letters. Highlight a symbol, then highlight the corresponding letter. If you make a mistake, click the Go Back button to step back, or you can reset the whole puzzle by clicking the Reset button. Maybe randomly. Alright, I really like these puzzles. I can't think of very many words. Well, evidently there's two that have a repeating letter in the one regular. There's egg and C. Let's try. I'm gonna do C here. I don't think this was right. I can't think of it being egg. Could be aisle. No, there's no punctuation. This has to be E though. It could be T-O then. There we go. That looks a lot better. And this is it. I think this is that. This is all. I think this is this. This is not. It's weird. I love these kind of puzzles. Follow. Ghost language. Is Phil? No. Full? Yeah. I think this is butt. Whoops. This could be R. This must be Pierre. Pierre, full report to follow, but this is too urgent to wait. Arno and see, they're both dead. This is not a coincidence. I need it. Seeks. Oh, indeed it seeks. Or it seems. So this is... I can't tell what that name is. All of us who came together in... are in danger. Take great care. What is this? I can't think of what this name is. It seems that all of us who came together in... I don't know. I wonder if it's Yamada? Oh, July? And then whatever S is.
I have decrypted
Ooh.
the note. It read, Pierre, full report to follow. But this is too urgent to wait. Arno and Yamada both dead. This is not a coincidence. Indeed, it seems that all of us who came together in July are in danger. Take great care. X.
Scared me.
I wasn't the only one to make the connection between the costume killer murders. I'd been right all along. That was why he had asked to meet me. But what did I know that he didn't? I had enough for a story. An amazing story that was going to make my reputation and blow Conchance to pieces. I needed to get home fast and start typing.
Bonsoir, Collard.
Nico, it's Ronnie.
Hey, Ronnie, you cracked open the champagne yet?
Are you crazy?
What's wrong? Wait a minute. You didn't print it, did you?
Of course I didn't print.
That's the best piece I've written.
The last, as far as I'm concerned.
It's important.
It's suicidal. You can't destroy a national hero.
He deserved it.
His corpse isn't even cold.
Ronnie, 2 hours ago I told you what I'd found. You loved it. You begged me to write it up immediately.
2 hours is a long time in newspapers, Nico.
Someone's got to you, haven't they?
Listen up, Nicole, and listen good. Pierre Carchon had a lot of friends. Powerful friends. For your own sake.
Forget what happened.
You got it. End of conversation. Good night.
This should have been my big break, but I knew there was nowhere else to sell this story. If Ronnie wouldn't print it, nobody would.
Bonsoir, Collard.
Mademoiselle Collard, my name is Plantard. I need to talk to you about your story. Your Pierre Carchon story.
How did you know about that?
There are people out there, madame, who will be very upset by this story.
Oh, really? Well, it's their lucky day. It's been spiked.
Yes, I know. We must meet.
We must?
I have information relating to your costume killer stories. Tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., Café de la Chandelle Verte, Rue Alain Court. I shall be wearing a grey overcoat. You must talk to no one about this.
You can't tell me what to...
Tomorrow at 8. I'll be waiting.
Wee-wee!
People complain about newspaper articles all the time, but not usually before they're printed. I was beginning to feel scared. This guy, Plantard, could I trust him? Should I meet him or forget the whole business? I didn't have an answer.
I'd only been in Paris for a week, but already I'd fallen in love with the city. My latest discovery was a little cafe, La Chandelle Verte. I was pretty sure the waitress was taking a shine to me. That old Stobart charm, I guess. Little did I know my reverie was about to be so rudely interrupted.
Ooh.
As I picked myself up, I was really angry. 1 minute I'm on vacation, the next minute some clown's blown me up. I knew right away what I was going to do. I was going to find that clown and bring him to justice. Because justice matters. Justice is up there with liberty and equality and, fraternity. After all, that's why I'd studied law, wasn't it? Well, that and the money, of course.
So he's not concerned for the sake of the people inside here. He's just upset that his vacation was ruined by a clown. And this guy back here doesn't really seem bothered. He's just working. I can't read any of this stuff. Experts arrive for a conference? I don't know. A pea-covered newspaper? A brutal assassination, Pierre Carchon. The nation is in chaos, I think. Some professor's a Nobel Prize winner. He's in Paris. I don't know. No idea.
I noticed the writing at the foot of the page. It read, Salah Eddin, 1345. The big story was about the brutal murder of a French media magnate, shot down in cold blood. The guy oozed confidence, like a regular French statesman.
Why is the audio sounding different?
The column was devoted exclusively to rumor, gossip, and sensationalism.
Okay.
The leading article referred to the visit of a Nobel Prize winner from some unpronounceable Eastern European state.
Alright, 1345. Maybe I should write that down. I'll just put it in a notepad. Steal the bike? Where's the bike? I don't see a bike. I'm just gonna write it here. Surely that will still be there by the time I need it.
I considered straightening the table, but I figured it best not to disturb the evidence.
This right here is a chair. I don't know if that's what you're talking about. I don't see a bike. Steal his pickaxe. Give me your pickaxe. Oh.
Freeze! Hold it, right there.
Oh, don't shoot. I'm innocent. I'm an American.
Can't make up your mind, huh?
I demand to see the American consul.
Drop your weapons and get down on the ground.
Put that thing away, Sergeant Mou. I apologize, monsieur, but I cannot permit you to leave.
Am I under arrest?
Ah, no, I would simply like to ask you some questions. En avant, to the café, marche. What a mess. This bombing is an outrage, is it not?
Stop that, monsieur.
Has it occurred to you that he may be dead, Mou?
Oui, monsieur. But I prefer to look on the bright side. Besides, I recall a case where the killer escaped by feigning death. However, in this case, the man is quite dead.
Examine the girl and take her statement, if you can.
He'd love to.
Et maintenant, to business. Your name, please?
George Stobart. I'm from California.
And what brings you to Paris, Monsieur Stobart?
Travel. I'm touring Europe.
You chose well. The city is most beautiful at this time of year, no?
Yeah, I guess so, apart from the bomb blasts.
Were you in the vicinity of the cafe at the time of the explosion?
Yeah, I was sitting out on the sidewalk. I was lucky I wasn't killed. The inspector passed over my remark with no reaction.
Did you see the deceased enter the cafe?
Did we see him enter the cafe? Stobart. We can either lie and tell him no, or we can tell the truth and say yes. I guess I'll go ahead and say yes.
Yes, I did.
Was he alone?
Yeah.
And did he say anything to you?
No. He was more interested in the waitress.
Did you see anyone else in the cafe?
Okay, he can either lie and say no, or we can tell him about the freaky ass clown.
Yeah, there was a guy dressed as a clown. He was carrying an accordion.
An accordion? Bon. The picture is forming in my mind, and it is not a pretty one. Is the girl all right, Mou?
She'll live. She confirms the American statement. A clown with an accordion, no doubt an elaborate and eccentric disguise.
Very well. Eh bien, I have heard enough.
What do you mean?
I am satisfied that you know nothing. You may leave. I hope this little incident does not spoil the rest of your vacation.
What about my personal safety? Can't you at least give me some advice?
What can I say? Stay alert and look out for suspicious characters.
And don't cross the road until the little man shows green.
Great advice.
I honestly believe you are in no danger, monsieur. Should you remember anything of importance, please contact me. My card.
Honk honk.
Thanks.
That is all. You may go.
There's not much to go on, monsieur.
On the surface, no. But what lurks inside the subconscious? If the door can only be opened.
Are you serious, monsieur? I thought your interest in psychic detection was purely academic.
I like Moo, he's funny.
Sergeant Moo?
Ah, Monsieur Stobart, n'est-ce pas?
That's correct. You remember me.
The retention of such data is part of my duty as a gendarme. That is how crime is fought, through attention to detail, not intuition.
Yes, sure. I was one of the last people to see the victim alive, Sergeant.
Does that worry you?
Yes, it does. I feel I owe it to him to find his killer.
That is best left to the authorities, monsieur. Did he speak to you? Tell you anything?
No, he just grinned and nodded.
Don't let it trouble you, monsieur. Go home and try to forget.
What is Rosso doing with that girl?
He is giving her the once-over, as you Americans say. Once he gets his teeth into a case, nothing will shake him off.
I found this in the street, Sergeant.
That, monsieur, is a newspaper, no?
There's a note written on it. Salah Eddin, 1345.
Aha!
That stumped you, hasn't it?
I have never been stumped, as you put it, in my life, monsieur. It is the name assumed by the clown, no?
Salah Eddin the clown? I don't think so.
How would we know that? And why would he write his name in a newspaper?
Look, Sergeant, the inspector gave me his card.
Yes, monsieur. He wants you to advise him if you have any information concerning this case.
Well, I'd be glad to talk with him, but I don't want him working his psycho weirdness on me.
Ah, no, monsieur. You are confusing the science of parapsychology with witchcraft.
Oh, yeah? What's the difference?
We don't do sacrifices.
Okay.
See you later, Sergeant.
Excuse me, mademoiselle?
Hi. My name's George Stobart.
Oh, an American by the sound of it.
Yep, that's right. On vacation in Paris. Some vacation, huh?
You were here when the bomb went off?
Sure was. Sat right out in front of the cafe.
Did you notice a middle-aged man, maybe 60, with a hat and overcoat?
I couldn't believe it. She hadn't even asked how I was feeling. Yeah, he went inside just before the bomb exploded. You weren't related to him, were you?
Oh, no, nothing like that. I'm Nicole Collard from La Liberté.
What is that, some kind of nightclub?
Oh, no, it's a newspaper.
You're a reporter?
I'm a freelance photojournalist.
Say, you could interview me about the bombing. An eyewitness account. Minutes after the outrage that shook the whole of Paris. You know, real-life drama, human interest, that kind of stuff.
I'll just stick to the facts, thank you. Did you see who planted the bomb?
I know it sounds crazy, but he was dressed like a clown.
A clown? It's him again.
He's so smooth. Is that a nightclub? He knows how to get all the ladies.
Who was the guy you were supposed to meet?
His name was Plantard. I didn't know him, but he called me last night. He said he had a story which would interest me. He asked me to meet him at the cafe. I guess I'll never know what he wanted to tell me.
Well, not unless you have Rosso's gift for psychic interrogation. How did Plantard get your name?
Through the newspaper, La Liberté. I'd written an article linking two unsolved murders, one in Italy, the other in Japan. The cases were remarkably similar. A wealthy victim, no apparent motive, and a costume killer. Plantard said he could supply me with more information. Well, somehow the clown must have known about our appointment.
Do you know a police officer called Rosso?
Rosso? Our paths have a knack of crossing. If I didn't know better, I'd say it was deliberate. Have you seen Rosso? Is he here?
He's inside, attempting to question a witness with his psychic powers.
That guy is weird.
Yeah. Have you met the clown before?
It's a long story.
I have plenty of time.
I don't.
Why won't you tell me about the clown?
Why do you want to get involved?
Because he almost killed me. Isn't that reason enough?
I guess so. Listen, I'll give you my phone number. You help me with my story, and I'll let you in on what I know. And let's get one thing straight right now. This is strictly business.
Okay, it's a deal.
I have to go develop these pictures. À bientôt, monsieur.
Fine. I'll see you soon.
You got her digits. I had to wait for her to walk away before I can move again.
The card read, Augustin Rousseau, and gave an address to the south of the Montparnasse Cemetery. It was a Paris daily tabloid newspaper, full of sex, scandal, and sports results.
But in Paris, they fall in love.
The clown had fled into this alley, but there was no sign of him now. I was intrigued by Nico and what she could tell me about the explosion.
Now see, he looks drawn. He's not a 3D model like Nico and the previous characters were in the beginning.
I took a deep breath and prepared to climb the drain pipe.
He
The clown didn't escape over the rooftops.
just pulled it off their wall.
It smelled like someone had dumped a truckload of fish in a locker room on a hot summer afternoon. There was nothing of interest.
That's it. What's this?
I considered straightening the table, but I figured it best not to disturb the evidence.
See, I'm almost certain that he's drawn. He's not a 3D model.
Hey, you!
I thought you'd been arrested.
No, it was a misunderstanding.
When he pulled that gun, gah! I thought that was it. Those automatics pack quite a punch, you know?
He made a mistake. He thought I was a terrorist.
You? A terrorist? Ha!
He was only doing his duty, I guess. Did you see an old guy with a briefcase?
Wait, silly old coot. Do you know what he said to me? Work fascinates me, he says. I could watch it all day. Quelle bite. I could have knocked his block off.
Did you recognize the old man?
No. Should I have done? Was he a celebrity?
No, but I guess he is now. His name was Plantard.
Was? He's dead then?
Yeah.
That's too bad. Now I wish I hadn't called him what I did. If only I could turn back the clock. If only I'd been more tolerant.
Regret and remorse are strange emotions. They really bring out the hammiest actors in people. Did you see a clown come by this way?
A clown? Like in a circus?
Yeah, with makeup and a big red nose.
Huh! Those guys are funny, aren't they?
Not in my experience.
I love the circus, especially the horses.
You haven't answered my question. Have you seen a clown?
You think I've got time to watch everyone who passes by? Some of us have to work for a living.
Look, I know you're busy, but surely you'd have noticed a clown.
I told you already. I didn't see a thing.
He was wearing multicolored baggy trousers and makeup.
He'd be a poor sort of clown if he didn't.
Listen, I have to find that clown. He's a killer.
Say, who are you anyhow? A cop?
No, of course not. I mean, do I look like a cop?
No, but you act like one, sticking your nose in where it's not wanted. How do you know this guy's a killer? Did you see him in action?
Didn't you hear the explosion? The cafe was blown up.
I wondered what that bang was. Any bodies?
Yeah, an old man was killed.
Merde. I didn't think it was that serious. What about the waitress?
Oh, she's fine.
Thank the saints.
Would you like to read my newspaper?
I haven't got time to read that. Can't you see I'm busy?
You could read it on your lunch break.
10 minutes is all I get. And if my boss had his way, I wouldn't get that. He'd have me on a drip, so I didn't have to stop to eat.
Oh, take the newspaper and quit complaining.
Pah! Look at this. Damn bleeding heart liberals. Tcha! Save the dolphins. Catch them and eat them, I say. All that fuss over a bunch of fish. Nah, that's more like it. Look at the size of those. Like champagne bottle corks, no?
Oh my god.
What's this? Saladin running in the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe.
It's a racehorse?
A horse? A legend. Bucephalus reborn, mon ami. Like a streak of lightning she is.
Bobcephalus.
Do me a favor, won't you? Keep an eye on my hole. I'm off to put some money on that nag.
What about your toolbox?
Stuff it. Help yourself.
He wants me to watch his hole. And we gotta wait for him to walk away slowly.
I found a T-shaped tool in the box. I didn't know what it was, but it looked useful.
I guess that music plays every time I find something. Sounds like The Sims. Lots of feces in the tent. You thought it was an outhouse? Oh, it's a telephone. Thought it was a toaster.
Hello, Nico Coulard.
Hello? It's George.
Oh, hi.
Well, I haven't had a lot of luck.
You found nothing.
No.
Look, I'm very busy right now. Call me if you have any news, okay?
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Adieu, monsieur.
See you.
Set into the huge gate was a smaller access door. The door was securely locked.
Break it open. With this thing. Oh, okay.
I examined the jagged glass remaining in the window. It was broken, all right.
Okay.
I lifted the cover to reveal what smelt like the entrance to a sewer.
As I picked up the plastic ball, I realized it was intended to be worn. It was the clown's red nose.
The picture.
The nose was hollow. Printed on the inside were the words, La Risée du Monde, Paris. It was a bright red plastic nose, part of a clown's costume.
I scooped up the sodden tissue. It was cold and greasy, like breakfast leftovers.
What? cold and greasy like
It
breakfast
was the soggy
leftovers.
tissue I'd found in the sewers.
That sounds really gross. A soggy tissue in the sewers?
I took hold of the scrap of material and unsnagged it from the spike.
Hi there. Hold it right there, you sewer rat. I knew you'd come back. And now I've got you.
What are you talking about?
You're trespassing. Come out of there, immediately.
That's what I'm trying to do. Give me your hand.
Ew.
Ha! You won't catch me with tricks like that. Keep your distance, monsieur.
Okay, okay.
Now, what were you looking for?
They're looking for a telephone in the sewers.
A telephone. I need to make an urgent call.
There is no telephone here. I want to know what you were doing in the sewer.
Didn't you hear the explosion?
In the sewer? A deadly cocktail of combustible gases and chemicals, most likely.
No, at the cafe. A deadly cocktail of accordion music and villainy. Most definitely.
What? The cafe? Blown up? Mon Dieu! That is awful. Did you say accordion music?
Yeah, that fiend had no mercy. He was disguised as a clown. By the time the bomb went off, he'd run to the sewer and made his escape.
Ah, mon Dieu! Then, the man I chased, do you think that man and the clown are one and the same?
Well, yes, it had crossed my mind.
Ah, that still does not explain what you were doing down the sewer. For all I know, you are in league with him.
Oh no, I'm just a tourist.
Haha, most tourists are content with the Eiffel Tower, the Louvre, or the Pigalle. I didn't realize my waste pipes were such an attraction.
What does this tissue mean to you?
Nothing, monsieur. It's disgusting. What on earth possessed you to show it to me? Someone has emptied their nostrils into it.
The giggle, what's that?
Take a look at this false nose.
I've never seen it before in my life.
Those are the best items to show to people. It's funny.
Perhaps you'd like to take a look at my card?
What is this? Inspector Augustin Rousseau? What does that say? Hominoid Division?
A homicide. I think the ink's smudged.
Then you are not a tourist.
Okay, I'm not. I lied to you. And I'm sorry.
Don't apologize, monsieur. You know, I had a feeling there was something different about you. It is your posture, your poise. Oh, yes. There is no mistaking the bearing of a disciplined man. And I should know. I was in the army, you know. When I was your age, I was fighting for my life in the African desert. How can I help you, Inspector?
Does this piece of material mean anything to you?
That is the same cloth as the jacket I found. I'd recognize that pattern anywhere.
This is what I used to open the manhole cover.
I have one just the same as that, monsieur. I will fetch it if you like.
No, don't bother.
Oh, it is no bother, monsieur.
Nah, forget it.
Just trying to be helpful, monsieur.
Yeah, go grab it. Let's sword fight. Oh, I can't show that stuff again.
Tell me about the man you apprehended.
He was a mean one, monsieur. He grabbed me in an armlock. His face suddenly next to mine. His grip was like iron, but he did not know what he was up against. Oh no, he made a big mistake when he took on one of the desert hyenas.
Yes, I get the picture. Do you know the waitress at the cafe?
You can't suspect her, surely.
Just answer the question, please.
Yes, I know her. Quite well, you could say. She came to work at the cafe 7 months ago. I look forward all week to the relief she gives me when she visits.
Ooh.
So you'd miss her if she wasn't there?
Oh, mais oui. Who else would I find to cut my toenails?
Is that what they call it in France?
Does the name Plantard mean anything to you?
No, it doesn't.
Was the guy you saw carrying a briefcase?
Why, yes, he was. Clutched in his arms like a baby.
That belonged to his victim.
Oh, what do you think was in it? Drugs? Stolen jewels?
I don't know, but the killer thought it was worth a man's life.
Nothing is worth that, monsieur.
Now, about the jacket you found. Do you have it here?
No, monsieur. One of the sleeves was badly torn, so I sent it for repair. A pity, because otherwise it was a fine piece of quality tailoring. It had the tailor's name inside on the label.
Where did you send the jacket?
I gave it to an itinerant Romani seamstress.
Just my luck. Was there anything in the jacket pockets?
Not a sou. You know what I think?
Do tell me.
He changed out of the clown suit and cunningly disguised himself as an ordinary person.
Looks like I'm up against a mastermind. What was the name on the label?
It was a foreign name. Todrick, I think.
Did you get the address?
There wasn't one, monsieur. Only a telephone number.
Well, I don't expect you to remember a phone number you've only seen once.
74 98 08 59.
You're kidding. That's his phone number?
Yes, that's it. A little trick with numbers that I learned in the desert. I was taught the technique by a Tuareg shaman.
That's incredible.
It comes in handy at the supermarket checkout. Do I get a reward?
Honesty, monsieur, is its own reward.
Then I'm glad I do not rely on honesty to pay the bills.
I have to be going. Thanks to your help, the citizens of Paris can sleep a little easier tonight.
Vraiment? I was only doing my duty, monsieur. Good luck, Inspector. I hope you catch that killer soon.
And I guess we just see ourselves out.
So the clown had escaped into the sewer, come up into the courtyard, and then slipped back into the street here. It wasn't much, but it was more than the cops had got.
Now let's tell the cops everything we know. His mouth is weird looking. Rawr, rawr, rawr. Dorg hungry. Dorg want eat.
Excuse me, Sergeant.
What do you want now?
I know the identity of the dead guy. His name was Plantard.
Is that so? You knew him, did you?
No, but
We'll know everything there is to know about him soon enough.
I'm trying to be helpful here.
The best way you can help us is to go home, monsieur.
I found this red nose in the sewer.
What were you doing down there?
Fishing for clues. That's where the clown went.
You still insist you saw a clown, monsieur?
Of course. And this novelty nose proves it.
It will take more than a plastic proboscis to convince Inspector Rousseau.
You don't want this as evidence, then?
Certainly not, monsieur.
Do you recognize this dirty tissue?
No, monsieur, I do not.
I found it in the sewer.
Perhaps it would be better if you put it back there.
No way. This could be an important clue.
If you say so, monsieur.
What do you suppose this tool is used for, Sergeant Moo?
It looks like something an obstetrician would use, monsieur.
I don't think so. I found it in that workman's toolbox.
Found it? I hope you did not steal it, monsieur.
Do I look like a common thief? He asked me to look after his hole and his belongings.
You certainly know how to enjoy your vacation to the fullest, monsieur.
I believe this material came from the clown's clothing.
If you are right, monsieur, then the clown must be an Englishman.
Well, how do you figure that?
Only the English would wear a suit made from material like that.
Don't you like the English?
It is not so much a question of liking, rather one of taste. They have none.
See you later, Sergeant.
Alright, let's call Nico. I don't think there's anyone else to talk to. Well, who should we call first? We'll call Nico.
Hello, Nico Collard.
Hello? It's George.
Ah, oui.
You said to call if I could help.
Have you any news for me?
You bet. I met a witness who spoke to the clown. And I know where the killer gets his suits.
No kidding. Hey, I'm impressed.
You are? Well, it wasn't easy.
Look, why don't you come here to my apartment later this afternoon?
Fine. Where do you live?
361 Rue Jarry.
Okay, I'll come over.
I was used to working alone, but I had to admit it felt good with George on the case too. But there were some things I was going to have to do alone, and fast. I needed the answers to some questions. Who was the costume killer? And why did he murder Carchon? Why did Carchon ask for me to interview him? How did he know my father? And why was my editor so scared? There was some kind of secret war going on out there, but who was on which side? One thing I did know. I wasn't going to get the answers sitting at my desk.
I guess we don't get to call the other guy.
There wasn't anyone that I needed to call.
What's she doing?
My first Teddy. Never had a boyfriend as loyal as him.
Aww. Oh.
The box was carved by my father. It never had a key. The elephant on the lid was a perfect match to Carchon's. The box was one of the few things my father left me. The elephant on the lid was a perfect match to Carchon's. The box was one of the few things the elephant...
No? I guess not. Why do I still have all this junk? Did I look at that? Oh, the teddy bear.
You have no messages.
That's the kind of voice I want on my answering machine.
It was a photograph of my father, the first one I ever took, with the first camera he ever bought me.
No, I'm not giving up.
Alright, let's get out of here. Rawr, rawr.
Mademoiselle Collard. Oh, hello there. Don't tell me. I'm going to meet a tall, dark man.
No, I don't think so. Why would you say that?
Oh, just a wild guess.
Anyway, your cousin's female and very pretty.
What?
Your cousin from Marseille. How could you forget her so soon? She was only in your apartment yesterday.
Ah, really?
Such a charming young girl.
Isn't she? And in my apartment, you say?
She let herself in, of course. She's got a key.
Suddenly, everything made sense. My apartment had been bugged. That was how Plantard knew all about my article. How did I know? Because the only cousin I have is a sweet little guy called Jean-Marc, who runs a patisserie in Le Touquet. These people were determined, which meant they were also very dangerous. I suppose she'd forgotten which apartment was mine.
Oh, Miss Collard, you're a mind reader. That's just what she said.
Oh, I bet it was. Well, I'd better be going. See what my sweet cousin's been getting up to.
Au revoir, mademoiselle.
It was my neighbor, the so-called psychic.
I guess that's it. Better just stick to where I'm supposed to go.
There was a small door set into the entrance gates, but nothing to say who lived there. The door was locked.
It's Mario!
Hello, could I ask you some questions?
That depends. Are you a cop?
No, I'm a journalist.
It's late, aren't you? They already took away the body.
I'm doing a follow-up on this story.
Tell me, are you related to the workman I saw digging the hole?
Don't talk to me about flambage. Pah!
Okay.
He just won a fortune on the horses and he won't give me a cent.
Well, it's his money.
When he was broke, he was happy to touch me for a loan. Brothers should look after each other, he used to say. He's changed his tune, now he's brassed up.
I was gonna say the previous guy looks like Luigi, now this guy looks like Mario.
You're doing a fine job.
Damn right I am. You should be writing about me, not that idiot that got blown up.
The heroes who pick up the pieces when disaster strikes.
Exactly.
Well, give me your best smile and maybe I'll put your picture in the article.
Oh, right. Just give me a minute to do my hair.
Should I be doing something?
The police have removed the body, but nothing else looked disturbed.
I guess that's what I was supposed to do, I don't know.
Oops, stupid thing. A panel had been blown away, revealing a gap. From this angle, I could see that something had been lodged in the gap behind the pipes.
Okay.
Behind the table were some damaged pipes. Voila! The police and forensic teams had missed a vital piece of evidence. Some kind of pouch. On the pouch was the cross symbol of Carchon's organization, I was on the right track. On the pouch was the cross symbol of Cochon's organization. Inside the pouch were 2 items, a strange metallic artifact and a letter in some kind of code. Another coded message using the same cipher system. So, Plantard was involved with Cochon.
Oh, another one. I think it's different, though. I don't know, maybe this is the same. He will? I guess it's he will. I think this is the... It? No. At? Maybe this is... No, it's not take. He will... come? Maybe this is followed. This could be killed? Let's see. No, not jilled. Killed. He will come. Or at. Maybe it's for it. Now. Wait. Imelda. This should be A right here. Lantern. What? Pierre killed, murdered. Must have followed trail from Arno and Yamada. He will come for us now. We must be vigilant.
Plantard.
Ooh.
Pierre killed. Murderer must have followed trail from Arno and Yamada. He will come for us now. We must be vigilant. Thierry's girl broke into Pierre's safe. She worries me. Imelda. So much for Imelda's innocence. Plantard was working for her, and for Canchon. But why did Plantard want to meet? Was it a trap? Or maybe he was in too deep and needed me to tell a story, whatever the story was. One thing was clear. It was a story worth killing for.
It looks scary to you? They're easy. It was the same letters from before. Well, it's true I couldn't remember the letters, but they're fun. I like cryptographs.
There was nothing of interest beyond some bloody debris.
Then why did you have the option to look at it?
Some journalists drink on the job, not me. It was a brandy bottle.
Let's smash it with an elephant. Guess that's it.
Hey, what about my photos?
Oh, of course. How could I forget?
Well, I'm waiting. Get your camera out.
Camera. Oh, I forgot. It broke.
Alors, they should never send a woman to do a man's job.
Well, this woman had fooled him easily enough. And found the evidence the police had missed.
Yay! Time to go home. Then I guess I'll go ahead and end it here. I hope you enjoyed watching me play. It's kind of linear since obviously it's a point-and-click adventure game. But some of the interactions are really funny, like with that greasy tissue. I don't really like George. I don't like his name. I wish they had chosen a more interesting name, but oh well. Anyways, I had a lot of fun playing. And I guess I'll be back tomorrow. Around the same time, I guess. I hope you have a good evening, and I'll wait for you to call me, I guess. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. So, good night.